Hi, this is Jason, and this is my daily vlog called Living with CMT. I hope you enjoy. Evening, folks. Happy Monday to you. Been a strange kind of day today. Got up quite nice and early. Nice bright start, and the weather looked absolutely horrible. It looked like it was going to really throw it down with rain. And for some weird reason, it didn't rain. And then about 20 minutes, half an hour later, maybe an hour, it was blue sky and it was warmed up and it was a real turnaround. Anyway, I got up about half eight, 8:45, because my new sister was coming today at some point to pick up a book, what she'd ordered off me, my poetry book. Anyway, came down, did my usual emails and stuff. My sister turned up about 10:30. I sent a message asking when she was coming. She came, stayed for about an hour. We had a bit of a talk about childhood and stuff, and she told me, well, she actually reminded me of a couple of things which I hadn't included in my biography, which was quite funny. And it's dating back actually to the days of VHS videos. That'll take you back a bit. Unless you're a kid watching this, anything younger than 20, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. The day of VHS videos and horror films. And I remember that it was only when I was talking to her, I sort of remember that when I was younger, films didn't have U12, 15, 18 certificates. They were just normal and X. And obviously, X-rated, you didn't touch. You weren't allowed near them. And if you were 12 or 13, you were not allowed to watch them. Simple as, mate. You were not allowed to watch them. If you sneaked them, fair enough, but you weren't allowed to watch them. Not like nowadays, where certificates don't seem to mean anything. You know, you've got kids of 10 years old watching 18's films, and parents let them. And then wonder why they're back-mouthing them and chatting them and swearing at them and all this kind of stuff. Well, no offence, but your kids picking it up from that, aren't they? You know what I mean? As well as school, obviously. Well, if you've got like 100 children in a school, and just let's say 20% of them allowed to watch things like that, they're going to pick up the swearing. Who are then going to swear at the other kids, and they're going to pick it up, and they're going to use it, and they're going to, see them talking bad mouth to the parents, so they're going to do it, and so on and so forth. And you're just starting like an epidemic, aren't you? But yeah, it just reminded me of the days of, there used to be a place near where I used to live in Braidley called Drayton Entertainment, and it was a video rental shop. And I remember years ago going up there, and you used to basically go in, you'd get your film rental for the night, and that was it. Or, as it later went on, if they were older films, like old horror films, you could have like 7 for a week for a £5, and you had to bring them back by the next week, otherwise you got charged another week's worth. I remember going down to Drayton Entertainment, up to Drayton Entertainment, and it was not long after we'd had a video recording, and my mum had decided she was going to get a couple of horror films, and she bought one called Terror Eyes, which was really good actually. It was very good. That was about a serial killer. But the other one that she got was a thing called House by the Cemetery. Now, I didn't know that a week after watching this film, it was going to get banned for the next 20 years of my life. I could see why, but I kept pestering my mum and saying, let me watch it, because I was about 11, 12 years old, and I was a man, I was coming up to be a man, so I wasn't scared of anything. Yeah. Anyway, we watched this film, The House by the Cemetery, and it was one of the it was the most terrifying thing I had ever seen in my life at that point. And I was absolutely scared witless. But the ironic thing was that my mum was also scared witless. So while I couldn't sleep one side of a bedroom wall, she couldn't sleep the other side of the bedroom wall. So we literally were talking all night through the wall because none of us could get sleep. It was that scary. And it's funny how 2 films I watched back then, which were The House by the Cemetery and The Burning, then later went on to get banned for 20 years each. And you think, now no films get banned, do they really? They can have disgusting stuff in. I mean, I'll watch horror films. I love horror films, don't get me wrong. I've watched tons and tons of horror films, hundreds of them in fact. But I draw the line. I would rather have a nice supernatural, ghost, haunting type of horror. Your Paranormal Activities are a bit far-fetched, but they're good to watch. And I've just enjoyed watching a series on Netflix, The Haunting of Hill House. That was good. That was fantastic. That was, in fact. So I do like them sort. What I don't like is the ones that are done for the sake of turning people's stomach The ones I can never get my head around are the human centipede, because I've heard that they are as bad as they sound, which basically is a man who takes bodies and joins them together with their intestines and turns them into one person and all this sort of stuff. And it's very, very rough. It's very, very rough. And I don't want to watch stuff like that. I don't mind the old 80s horror slashers. Do you remember the 80s horror slashers like the Friday the 13th? Yeah, the Friday the 13th series and the Halloween series. And of course they led on to things like then the Chuckies, Basket Case, you know, all stuff like that, which obviously went on to do things like Freddy Krueger, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. They spawned from that sort of thing. And then obviously later on Final Destinations. And they aren't too bad, you know, they come up with ingenious ways of killing people and ingenious stories. So I don't mind them. But I don't want something that's just going to be gore and blood splattered everywhere for the sake of it. I don't like them sort. Obviously things like Friday the 13th got dead far-fetched in the end. You know, they got to the point where this is ridiculous. How many times have you got to kill this guy? You know. And I'm glad with Jason X, they actually did I didn't know how that was going to go, but I thought that was a really, really clever film and a good way to end that particular franchise. I really did. I thought it was a good way to end the franchise. See, another favourite of mine, another series of mine, which I really love, are Phantasms. Far-fetched again, you know, completely mental. And the last one that they made, which was only a couple of years ago, was horrible. It was dreadful. It really was bad. Why they had to redo it, why they had to bring another one out, I do not know. They should have let it die a death. Hellraisers, they were good. And the first couple were really, really clever. You know, I mean, they really tapped my brains. But then again, they were done by a bloke called Clive Barker. And if you ever read any books by Clive Barker, he is absolutely amazing. He did a particularly good fantasy called The Great and Secret Show. And he did another one called Imagica. Or Imagica, I don't know how you pronounce it. Imagica, I think. And I've actually got a signed copy of that one. I picked it up in a charity shop, even though it was signed. Somebody got rid of it. Anyway, I picked that up, and that's upstairs. I've also got a Clive Barker book that's signed as well, because Clive Barker's good. But the Hellraiser series, I thought they were very, very clever, because you were tapping into a part of fantasy that could exist. You know, who's to say that there isn't somewhere that can open a portal to something that's beyond our comprehension? Because if we are all there is, if we are everything that there is in the universe, then it's a sad state of affairs, because you've got this great big massive universe that's literally billions and billions and billions and billions of miles and galaxies and God knows what else, and we are the only planet with life on it. Quite worrying, really. You would have thought that somewhere along the line there'd be other dimensions and other planets and other things like that with different races on and stuff. Because I had a theory, as a writer, I had a theory. My theory was this: all the planets, starting from the furthest one away, we've all lived on them planets before, right? And what's happened is they've created a universe, right? And they made these planets, and they've started at the far end and said, right, you can have this planet. There's your population. See what you do to it. And I think we've destroyed every single planet leading up to where we are now. Don't get me wrong, I don't think we've all lived on them the same way. I think we've had to have different breeds, you know, different ways of looking, blah, blah, blah. But I think each planet has housed its own human race, if you like. And each planet has lost its own human race because we've done exactly what we're doing to this planet. We've bled it dry. We've killed each other, we've destroyed it. So what they've basically done is shut down a planet, moved on to the next one, shut down a planet, moved on to the next one. And it sounds like this planet's heading for the same thing. It'll be shut down so we can move on to the next one. Is it Mars that's the next one? I can't remember. Anyway, but whatever the next one is closest to the sun, that's the one we're going to be on next. That's just my theory, anyway, as a writer, you know, because I've got demented theories, I really have. With me being a writer, I'm forever coming up with ideas of things for science fiction and stuff like that. Getting away from that, I saw today that Canada were unlucky today. They had 3 earthquakes. They're saying they were tremors, but earthquakes to me, if they're rating 7, and within the space of an hour of each other. And I thought, what are the odds of that? What are the odds of you getting 3 within an hour of each other? You know, one place. I know they were just off the coast, but I can imagine the tremors were felt. Whether I don't think there's been any loss of life, so they've been lucky, because if one of them would have centered on, you know, on the actual land rather than in the sea, it could have caused untold devastation. You know? And again, Is this because we're messing with the earth? Is this because we're destroying the crust of the earth? Is this because we're doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing? You know, are we not supposed to be drilling into the earth and going into places that shouldn't be accessible to us? Because we're so, I would say inquisitive, but I think it's just damn right nosy. We want to explore every tiny inch of this planet. And I don't think it's all meant to be explored. You know, I think some of it's meant to be left alone. If it's underground, leave it underground. You know, I know, fair enough. Yeah, I was brought up in an area where it was all mines and stuff like that, and mines were used to get resources. So you know, that's fair enough. But them holes must have been there. You don't suddenly just walk along and say, "Oh, I'll tell you what, I think I'll just dig a hole here just in case there's something in it." But like I said, it's one of them things where the resources are being bled dry anyway. So what can you do? Well, it's the 22nd today, so there's another 9 more days till this. I've already appealed on my Facebook page for my first appeal for my fundraiser. I've had my first £5 donation, which was a couple of weeks ago, off a good friend of mine, Mr. Cole Bradbury. Thank you very much, mate. That's much appreciated. So yeah, I've got my first £5 on the go. My sister's took some forms down to Stoke because she knows more people than Phileas Fogg. So she's going to try and get me some sponsors down there. And I'll be starting my proper fundraising within the next 4 or 5 days, which means I'll be boring you silly with facts and figures. But that's part of it, part of what I do. So for now, all done. You all take care, and I'll do another video tomorrow. If you're enjoying the videos I'm doing and you want to see more, you can subscribe by clicking the link there. And if you want to see my exciting day from yesterday, you can click up there. Thank you again for taking the time to watch my videos. Bye for now.